I think it's varied and it's diverse. We've got sort of people with different cultures in my office, different experiences, different qualifications. So yeah, I'd definitely say it's a varied culture. For me, it's the variety of the role and the job. There's no 2 days are the same, and yeah, there's lots of benefits that sort of come with the role of being an inspector. But yeah, one of the great ones is the variety of the role. I visited a tripe factory, which was quite interesting, but it goes from sort of that type of environment where you're dealing with very long-standing sort of tradition and type of work to lithium-ion battery storage units that have been sort of developed and built in countryside to store energy. So really from the traditional to sort of cutting edge of technology. Positively, very positively. I think my last role, my last role was a desk-bound role, and essentially I was doing the same job day in, day out, but with the role that I do now as an inspector, I can be going, no 2 days are the same really. There's a lot of experience within the organisation, a lot of skill, a lot of specialisms, and to be able to reach out to those individuals for assistance, for departments, I think that's one of the key things for me that makes the organisation unique. I think it's resourceful, it's very skilled, and it's committed. To be honest, I didn't have any preconceptions about HSE, and to be honest, I didn't know too much about it really. My jobs since leaving university have been sort of office-based, so in terms of interaction with the HSE or exposure to the HSE, it was very little to none really. So other than sort of perhaps the research that I did sort of upon joining, there were no sort of preconceptions about it. And the reality upon joining the HSE has sort of been wholly positive for myself really, being exposed to different types of work environment, being provided with autonomy as well to carry out my role. It's been really positive. So essentially I was looking at the Civil Service Jobs website, and as and when jobs were coming up, the HSE inspector role was advertised. And I read about the job description and essentially the remit of the work that was involved with the job, the locations, the regions, the sort of multi-dimensional sort of aspects of the role sort of really appealed to me. So my role as an Inspector of Health and Safety involves ensuring that health and safety law is adhered to by employers and duty holders. The way that I do that is by ensuring that employers, so through inspections or investigative work, ensuring that employers are adhering to health and safety law, and where they're not, is taking appropriate enforcement action against those individuals. In terms of actions that we can take anything from serving notices which can prohibit work, but also improvement notices which dictate that employers must take certain actions to improve their working practices, for example, so as to ensure the health and safety of those individuals that are working there. And the impact is wholly positive, essentially, because what we're trying to do is improve people's health and safety whilst they're at work. And one of the great things about this job is making sure, or trying to ensure, that those individuals that go to work are able to come back sort of safely to their loved ones. The great thing about my job is the autonomy that I'm provided. So essentially I'm able to, with my manager, plan my week to a certain degree and have the autonomy to move things about. So essentially if we determine something's a higher priority, we're able to move bits about and sort of ensure that we prioritise those areas that are sort of urgent. So autonomy is a great thing with this role. The most challenging aspect is the variety of work that you're encountered with. Essentially, I gave an example before where I visited a tripe factory. Within the same week, I visited a lithium-ion battery storage unit. So essentially, I'm going out to these sites, conversing with duty holders who know their own industries inside out, and essentially myself, with a little bit of background research, I having to converse with those individuals. But that's also the most rewarding, because there's always an opportunity to learn about something new and walking through the doors of an environment that you've never walked through before. So whilst this is the most challenging, it's probably also the most rewarding as well. So in terms of the RTP for myself, it was great because I was able to link up with others that were in the same boat as me and to share the experiences and essentially gain a qualification which is recognised within the industry and sort of inside and outside of the HSE. So the RTP involved for myself the opportunity to learn, to sort of go away and experience different workshops, to partake in different workshops, to sit on in different courses and essentially learn about different sections of health and safety. So throughout the 2 years of training, I had my principal inspector, who was my line manager within the office. I also had my coach, who was a member of my team. But then wider than that, I had the whole of the office from Nottingham really that were able to support me if I ever had any questions or queries. And as well as that, we had our ODM, which is the Operational Development Manager, I believe, and they were always on hand to answer any questions or queries that I had. So the most challenging aspect of the RTP is studying for Level 7 qualification, which is the Diploma in Regulatory Health and Safety Law, but then also combining that with doing a full-time job. From here, it's to successfully complete the RTP and become sort of a fully fledged inspector. And essentially what I'm looking forward to then is consolidating the knowledge that I've learned over the last couple of years and helping me further develop as an inspector. Essentially, it's interesting because having joined 2 years ago, I can see it with the newer recruits or those individuals that have perhaps joined in the last few years, that they have a sort of I wouldn't say a wider appreciation, but it might be more at the forefront of their minds in terms of health conscious when they're going out to visit duty holders, whereas perhaps industry and also inspectors that have sort of people that have worked in the industry for a longer time, their minds may be more focused on safety. So certainly it's a developing sort of subject really within HSE and sort of outside. So essentially, it's a very challenging job in terms of the variety of premises that you may go into, the variety of industries that you may encounter, but also that's for me is the most rewarding. So if you're looking for a job that's different, that no 2 days are the same, then I'd encourage you to look into it. But also it's a great opportunity to be able to meet people and specialists from a wide range of industries.